What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day I was scrolling through Reddit and we found some more data mined information about Battlefield 6. And let me tell you guys something. This new information is not going to be something that I think a lot of you guys are going to be excited to hear. Again, keep in mind, this is all data mined stuff, so it could happen, it could not happen. We have no clue. But in all reality, if this does become true, and I highly think it will become true, I think the Battlefield community is going to be quite disappointed, and again, this might be a major deal breaker for many out there. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got to link that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, over on Reddit, like I said, I saw a post over here by Corlick99 saying server browser in Battlefield 6 appears to be only for Portal and not the regular multiplayer. And this is the post right here over on Discord from Screwme saying, I checked every playtest reference, link, and related parts of the UI pointing from the existing server browser to something or vice versa. For now, it's a Portal feature, like in 2042, and not part of the main multiplayer section. No matter if you look at sorting mechanisms, rely on Portal server links, UI setup still Portal, or even naming of elements. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to make it very clear. This is all data mined, and this is subject to change. We have no clue. A year down the road, this game could go ahead and, come out with a complete server browser for multiplayer, and, all of this stuff will go ahead and be debunked. But from all the information that we have accumulated over time and the developers actually coming out and debunking the skill-based matchmaking news that, dropped a little while ago, you want to know what the funniest thing about this whole situation is? They go through all the effort, when skill-based matchmaking is brought up, they hop on that like it's nobody else's business. In a millisecond, they go ahead and put out a post saying, oh yeah, no, guys, don't worry. Skill-based matchmaking isn't going to be like anything, crazy. It's going to be very toned back. It's going to be exactly how it is in Battlefield 2042. But they refuse to talk about the server browser. They won't mention it. They won't just tell us or give us a yes or no answer. And that's, in all reality, all we need. We don't need to hear anything else. We don't really care about, the matchmaking if, of course, there's a server browser in place. But they refuse to mention it, and they keep pushing with wanting this matchmaking system to be implemented in Battlefield. It's like, oh, Battlefield 2042 wasn't that bad. So, obviously we're going to keep it. And if anything happens, we'll further, mess with it, which obviously, like I said before, leaves doors open to them enhancing the matchmaking. But regardless, as I said before, this could be all false, but I still wanted to put this video together for you guys to share exactly why I believe a server browser should be required in the Battlefield experience. Again, like I said, it could be implemented, but from what I'm seeing and how they've been handling Battlefield over 2042 and been pushing up to the new Battlefield game, it's not looking too bright, and I'm hoping that me, myself, and many of you guys down in the comment section, please go down and share what you guys personally love about the server browser so much. Of course, unless you hear it in this video. But if you don't hear it and you want to share your personal takes, please go down below. I want this video to be a source of, the community coming together and sharing why the server browser is so freaking important to each and every one of them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first point that I came up with here, and honestly, this is probably the most crucial point on why the server browser is a necessity when it comes to the Battlefield franchise, is the fact that you have complete control over your ping. In Battlefield 2042, I can't tell you how painful it is to leave it up to EA to determine what server I'm going to go into. And obviously, when there's a server browser in place, you can pick your exact ping. And in a game like Battlefield, that's very crucial. This isn't Call of Duty, ladies and gentlemen, where the maps are mostly medium and the majority of your gunfights are up close and personal, maybe to medium range. A lot of the time in Battlefield, you will get long range engagements, and having rough ping is going to interfere with this a ton. And absolutely nothing sucks more than taking so much time to try to get good map control and then getting clapped out by, rubber banding too hard, or, bullets not registering, or bullets maybe registering on an enemy screams, regardless, it's horrifying. Even in the vehicles, try flying around on high ping, or even riding around in a tank on high ping, when, you have to get out of situations quickly as a tank, because a lot of people might be jumping on your case. It's difficult to maneuver while you're lagging around everywhere. Or even as a helicopter pilot trying to dip and weave, or even navigating tight spaces. You don't want to stutter. All it takes is one little lag spike. You're going to tip off the side of a building, flip over, and kill everybody on board. lag is not. It's not obviously acceptable in any game whatsoever, but like I said, in Battlefield, it's very, very crucial that you find a server that gives you good connection. The second point here on why a server browser is so crucial for Battlefield is actually a really good one as well, and I'm going to be honest, I took this one from a Reddit comment that I saw, but it's very, very, very true. Basically, a sense of community is given throughout a server browser. You know, when you're not really going through a server browser and you're just matchmaking, it doesn't really give you any sense of community when you're playing Battlefield. But when you hop into a match, when you hop into a server, you know that each and every individual that's in there did the same thing. They all searched, they found something that they think is good, and you guys are all grouping into this one server to play with one another, which also leads into another point here. This was going to be the third point, but I might as well just intertwine it with this point here because they're both crucial. Not only is it important to have that sense of community of playing with one another, but also non-disbanding lobbies. I hate it so much when you're getting a good match or you find good competition, both teams are nicely balanced, and the game resets. The game's over. Everybody gets kicked, and we all have to re-queue again. Why? What's the reason behind this? And even worse, in Battlefield 2042, there's a bunch of AI, so over half the time when everybody gets booted, it starts up a brand new game where half the lobby is consisted of AI, and it takes literally almost a whole game to get it filled up to a normal spot. Then finally, you get to the end of the game, everybody's in, you get real humans, and it boots everybody again to repeat the same process. Non-disbanding lobbies is so crucial to getting consistent matches within the server browser, and it gives you that sense of community. You start to know who people are, you learn names, and you might even chat it up with one another. Who knows what the situation is, but it feels a lot more community friendly than just quickly hopping into matchmaking and see wherever it takes you. Also, the fourth point, kind of, adding along with non-disbanding lobbies, is playing the same freaking map over and over. The best part about a server browser is there's a set rotation of maps. And yes, obviously you're going to be able to vote between a couple, but this rotation of maps is going to keep going, and you're going to get fresh maps in the rotation as long as everybody keeps voting differently. But when you're in a game, again, like Battlefield 2042, where there's no workable server browser for pub matches, you're getting the same map over and over because the lobbies are disbanding, it's putting you out, and it's trying to queue you back in for another game, but it's not going to factor in the maps you're playing. It never does. It just throws you back into the fastest match you can find. Bam, probably the same map as you played 5 times over, and that can easily be avoided if we simply had a server browser. And another point that I thought of is the longevity of any Battlefield title is much better when it comes to having a server browser. Imagine Battlefield 4 or any of the OG classics, current date, without a server browser. And the only way that you could find matches is through simply matchmaking. That would be the most obnoxious, horrifying experience, because you got to think about it. This matchmaking system is just trying to get you in as quickly as possible, especially in a older Battlefield title. There could easily be a server that is, your connection, you'll get good ping, 20 or less, but it's like a 2-person queue. Not that long, right? We would all look at that and say, okay, click on in, I'll wait, I'll just do something else for a little bit until someone leaves and I can finally hop into the experience. Anybody would do that because it's their connection. But there could also be 2 other servers. Let's say it's only 3 servers live, right? Let's just say Battlefield 4 for some reason isn't active at all right now. There's literally only 3 servers, one of them being good ping for you and the other 2 being bad ping. Because those bad ping servers have a couple of open spots, no queue, I guarantee that matchmaking system would force you into that lobby each and every time. And I guarantee if you back out and re-queue, that matchmaking system would still not put you into the full lobby and let you, sit in queue and wait. It would still put you into the bad connection, making you think there are no other lobbies available and you're stuck with this one. So it's either you just hunker down and deal with the bad connection, or you hop off and you don't play at all. That's not enjoyable, in my personal opinion, for the longevity of a Battlefield game. I think having a server browser is better. You can see exactly what's open, exactly what's available. Even if it's only one server that is working for your connection, you could still join and wait in a queue and get the best ping possible. It just helps with the, again, longevity of every Battlefield game that releases. And I'll be real with you guys, I can't think of anything positive for not having a server browser in the game. I genuinely, I'm being serious. I am really trying to give it a fair shake. You guys know I would. I would definitely try to find both the positives and the negatives across the board. I mean, the only positive I can think of having no server browser is, again, you don't have to wait in queues. You just get into a game instantly. But that's not a positive to me if, of course, those lobbies that it's trying to instantly get me into have bad connection. I genuinely can't think of any reason to not have a server browser besides forcing in an algorithm of some sorts. Again, it might not be the thickest algorithm. It might be something completely different. It might not be COD level. But like I said, that's the only reason I could see them not wanting to allow a server browser, is for that exact reason. They want us, the player base, to go through this algorithm to find lobbies to play in. Again, they said it's not going to be bad, and it's going to be exactly like 2042. So it is what it is. 2042 isn't very sweaty at all, and it never was very sweaty. The matchmaking has been always very laid back. So if that's the truth, although they left that statement open-ended by saying that if anything goes not their way, they are open to changing the matchmaking. They literally said that in the statement. Those are real words. They are open to changing things if it doesn't go correctly. Okay, so it's all possibilities that it could get worse. But if it doesn't, and it literally stays like 2042, there realistically is no problems with, the game feeling not like Battlefield. It will be literally perfectly fine. But as I listed before, I just think there's so many good positives that come with having a server browser. And that's the only reason I'm really wanting to put this video out there, to express that there's a lot of good that comes from a server browser for this community specifically. And let's be real, it's been in pretty much every Battlefield game besides 2042. It's a staple feature. It's just starting to feel weird and awkward that it's not being introduced. It's almost like they're trying to make us forget about this feature. And that's what worries me the most about the matchmaking. People need to start remembering it's not the developers who deal with the matchmaking. It's EA. They are the ones who say what happens with that matchmaking system. The developers can make the best game in the world. They can. But EA decides if the matchmaking will be strict or not so strict. So, this could be them just slowly trying to prep this franchise. But it might not be the next Battlefield game. It might not be the one after that. It could be 3 Battlefield games down the road, 4. But I feel like they are really trying to make us forget about the server browser. Forget it was never a thing. That is a feature of the past. Matchmaking is exactly what Battlefield is about nowadays. And when that happens, when the people forget, then they could probably start slowly creeping up with real matchmaking algorithms to make things more strict, and they can start benefiting themselves more by, again, adding in algorithms that can benefit their pockets. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, go down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Do you think that this data mine information will shift at some point in time, or do you think that we are indeed not getting a server browser multiplayer? I'll be real. I know for some it's going to be a deal breaker. And I'm sorry to say, but me personally, I don't think we're going to be getting one. I genuinely believe EA is trying to push us towards us going through a matchmaking system. That's it, instead of actually picking the servers. And we'll find out. Again, it's all data mine information. All of this is completely subject to change. I just wanted, like I said before, to put out a video to discuss why I think the server browsers are important, and hopefully, maybe, it's probably nobody listening, but if anybody does listen, maybe we can truly see this come to life within the brand new Battlefield game. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got to link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.